You will never change. Not because you can't, but because you won't do it long enough. Psychologists discovered it takes an average of 66 days to form a habit, but here's what they don't tell you. The first 19 are the only ones that matter. That's where most people quit, and that's exactly where everything changes if you don't. No motivation required, no perfect conditions, just 19 days of one small thing, repeated. This isn't another self-improvement theory. It's the pattern that actually sticks. Have you ever looked at someone around your age, maybe someone you went to school with, or someone you follow online, and wondered how they make it look so effortless? They're building something real, making progress, showing up every day, and you're sitting there thinking, what do they have that I don't? Is it natural talent, better connections, or did they just get lucky? After years of side projects and stalled attempts, I've noticed a pretty clear pattern in what actually sticks. Talent and luck didn't do it, and nobody had a head start you didn't get. The difference comes down to one thing: consistency. I know you've heard that word before. It sounds like something your parents said. Sounds obvious. Stay with me, because the way you think about consistency is completely wrong, and that's what's keeping you stuck. My friend, 92% of people never follow through on their goals. A stat that highlights a pattern more than a fixed truth. And it's not because they didn't want it badly enough. It's not because they weren't smart enough or didn't have enough time. It's because they couldn't sustain the process long enough for results to show up. There's always this stretch where you're working and nothing's happening, and that's where nearly everyone quits. Think about it this way: the energy it takes to start something is always greater than the energy it takes to keep going. And the beginning of anything worth doing comes with the lowest possible reward. Externally, nobody's clapping for you yet. Internally, you don't even have momentum to lean on. Often, when you're close to winning, that's sometimes when you give up, and that's the problem. But the number that flipped a switch in my head is that if you improved by just 1% every single day, by the end of the year, you'd be 37 times better than you are right now. Not twice as good, not 10 times better, 37 times. That's what small, consistent effort adds up to. What could you do if you were 37 times better than everyone else? This is going to focus on what consistency looks like in practice. How to keep going when motivation drops, why small daily actions carry the most weight, and a final approach that makes follow-through more sustainable. The system that makes showing up feel almost automatic exists, but it only works once you understand why everything you've tried before quietly fell apart. This is the part that actually changes how the whole thing runs. Studies show consistent small habits account for about 80% of long-term achievement. Not the late nights you pull once a month when you're fired up. The quiet, boring, daily process of showing up. That's actually what builds something, which takes some pressure off. You don't have to crush it every day and act like you've already won just because you have more work than others. You just need to keep going. There's a Jerry Seinfeld story I keep coming back to. Before the show, before any of it, he was a young comedian trying to get better. His method was simple to the point of being anticlimactic. Write one joke a day, one joke, and every day he wrote, he'd mark an X on a calendar. The goal stopped being write something great and became don't break the chain. The chain did the rest. Over the next few weeks, it got sharper, funnier, without ever trying to be brilliant on day one. But if I just tell you, be consistent and leave it there, I'm not actually helping, because we've all had the routine collapse. You miss the gym, you skip the work session, you go a week without touching the project you said was a priority, and until guilt shows up, you start thinking you failed or that you were never cut out for it. My friend, missing a day isn't failure, it's just a day you missed. If you trip during a run, you don't sit down on the pavement and decide the race is over. You get up and you run. Consistency isn't about never falling, but it's about your response rate when you do. The fall doesn't define the streak, but choosing to continue does. What actually matters is how quickly you come back after the break, not whether the break happened at all. Looking consistent has nothing to do with never stopping. It's about how fast you start again. And most of the damage comes from deciding that missing a day means you've become the kind of person who stops. And that identity shift is subtle, but it's what actually breaks momentum long before your schedule ever does. Because once you start labeling yourself as someone who falls off, you begin to act in ways that confirm it without even noticing, and that will mostly show up in the results of your actions. The real work is learning to treat every restart as normal without making it special nor dramatic. Once that clicks, The pressure of being perfect starts to disappear. But there's still one thing that trips almost everyone up, something that feels like your biggest ally at the start and turns into your biggest liability the moment things get hard. Motivation is one of the most overrated things in the self-improvement world. I say that as someone who spent way too long waiting to feel it before doing anything. Motivation shows up early with energy and certainty, then fades when the work becomes repetitive and unglamorous. My friend, think about any new routine you've tried. The first few days, you're locked in with energy and belief. The whole thing feels possible. Then the results don't show up as fast as you expected. The early mornings start feeling brutal, and doing nothing starts looking a lot more appealing until the so-called motivation is gone. That drop-off is normal. It's not a character flaw or something you did wrong in your work. It's about your motivation. It fades. It was never meant to power anything that takes longer than a week. So the thing I had to figure out, you can't build consistency on feelings. You show up because you decided to, not because you feel like it. When your only basis is feelings, you'll stop every time you don't feel like it. That's why, to be truly consistent, you need to do something even when you don't feel like doing it. It shouldn't depend on your mood, but on your habit, routine, or commitment. Those are different things, and that difference matters more than most people think. Feelings move around. A decision doesn't need to be renegotiated every morning. Over time, that's what actually changes how you see yourself. The days you didn't feel like it and showed up anyway are the ones that count. I want to hear from you. What's the one thing you keep starting and stopping? The goal that keeps getting away from you? Drop it in the comments. You might find someone down there in the exact same spot, and that alone might be what keeps both of you going this time. Have you ever started something and got frustrated because results weren't showing up fast enough? Frustration usually shows up when effort doesn't translate into visible progress on the timeline you expected. A couple years back, I was building a work routine around a side project. After a week, I was checking metrics obsessively. After 2, second-guessing everything. By week 3, I'd convinced myself it wasn't working and started fresh with a different approach. But I was just being impatient. There's an analogy I keep coming back to. It's easy to plant a seed. You just water it, give it sunlight, and then wait for it to grow. But instead of letting it grow, you dig it up every day to check. It doesn't grow if you won't let it. That's what abandoning a routine too early actually looks like. My friend, the results will come. They're on their own schedule and not yours. Your job is to keep showing up and stop treating silence as a sign something's wrong. Most things worth doing take longer than you expect before anything shows. That's where people quit, because it feels like nothing's working. But silence is usually just the gap between effort and visible change. The work was still running. But knowing that doesn't automatically make the waiting easier. There's a real psychological weight to putting in work you can't yet see paying off. And if you don't know how to handle it, that weight will push you out before the results ever get a chance to show up. We live in a world built around instant feedback. Post something, and within an hour how it landed. Order something, and it's at your door the next day. So when something actually requires patience, like building a skill or making real progress on a project, feels wrong, like something must be broken. That fear of slow results is one of the biggest reasons people quit before they get anywhere. I felt it, the thought that creeps in around the 2-month mark. What if I'm putting in all this work and it just doesn't pay off? That question is hard to sit with, and a lot of people don't. Stop, and none of the days before it matter. The early parts of the process, or the unexciting or unglamorous ones, where your real advantage is built. Before, you'd hit this point and quit, but if you don't, you build things most people never get to, because they left too early, and the longer you stay, the wider that gap gets. One quick thing, I launched memberships on this channel, and it's basically a smaller room where we can actually talk, priority replies, input on future topics, more direct access. If you're serious about this stuff and want more than just the videos, the join button is right below. Would genuinely love to have you there, actually doing the work. If that sounds like your kind of thing, hit join below. What changes consistency is less about motivation and more about how the work is structured so it runs even when motivation drops. At some point, you have to stop treating the process as the obstacle between you and the goal and start treating it as the point. Think about climbing a mountain. You're standing at the base while looking at the summit and imagining the view. And that vision matters. It's what gets you there. But if every single step feels like punishment, you're not going to make it. The people who keep going aren't just more disciplined, they actually just enjoy the climb. My friend Aristotle said it better than I ever could. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. When I was trying to build better daily habits around fitness a while back, I kept making the same mistake. I was obsessing over outcomes I couldn't directly control, the number on the scale, the visible results. Every day I checked, and every day the feedback felt slow. I lost a little more motivation. Then I flipped the focus. Instead of measuring what I couldn't control, I started measuring what I could. Did I hit the workout today? Did I drink enough water? Did I follow through on what I said I would? I marked every day on the calendar where I did something, instead of marking whether something had changed in me. After that, things didn't stay the same. The process started feeling rewarding on its own. The results showed up eventually. By that point, they were kind of beside the point. The shift sticks when execution is built into this structure. 1. Break it down. Big goals feel overwhelming because you're trying to hold the whole thing in your head at once. You don't need to write a book. You need to write 1 page today. You don't need to build the whole thing. You need to do the next step. Small wins create forward movement, and forward movement creates momentum. Momentum matters more than intensity because it lowers the resistance to starting again tomorrow. Stop trying to finish everything. Just figure out the next step. It gets lighter fast, and you won't realize how far you've gone until you turn around and look. 2. Set daily non-negotiables. Pick 1 or 2 small actions that you commit to no matter what. Not when you feel like it, not on the good days, every day. These become the spine of your consistency, the thing that holds everything else together even when life gets chaotic. When everything else becomes unpredictable, what you refuse to drop becomes your anchor. Those few non-negotiables do more for your identity than a long list of flexible goals ever could. 3. Track what you're doing. There's something genuinely powerful about seeing your consistency written down. A simple checklist, a habit tracker, a calendar with X's, whatever it is, make it visual. Every mark you make is evidence that you showed up, and that evidence builds something you can't fake, real confidence. Confidence comes from reps you can actually point to, not reflection, and when you can see your follow-through accumulate over time, it becomes harder to argue with the idea that you're someone who keeps promises to yourself. 4. Detach from the outcome. This is the hard one. Stop measuring success by whether the result showed up yet. Start measuring it by whether you gave it your best today. If the answer is yes, that's a win. Full stop. You put the work in and nothing shows. That's just how early progress works. It's invisible before it isn't. 5. Celebrate the small stuff. Don't wait for the big moment to feel good about what you're building. Finished a week of showing up. That matters. Acknowledge it. Reward yourself. You're not waiting for the summit to enjoy the climb. If the finish line is the only thing that counts, you'll hate every day until you get there. And most days, you won't be there. And learning to recognize small wins as real progress is what keeps you from burning out before the results have time to appear. And once the process starts feeling like the point, the systems I'm about to walk you through actually have something to stick to. Because without understanding what's been quietly breaking your consistency, those systems are just good ideas you'll forget by next week. My friend, even if you already understand the system of how to do something, it doesn't mean the difficulty will disappear. There will still be days where intention and action don't align, even when the direction is clear. That's just how this works. That's why it matters more to understand what's actually going on when you slow down or stop. Not just that it happens, but why. When you know what's driving the behavior, you stop working against yourself. A lot of the struggle comes down to expectation misalignment. We underestimate how long real change takes and overestimate how much progress we should have made by now. Expect too much too soon and you'll quit before it has a chance to work. You put in the work, build the foundation, develop the habits, and from the outside, or often from the inside too, it looks like nothing is happening. That's the part nobody warns you about. Something is happening, you just don't see it yet. The second thing that kills consistency is the all or nothing mindset. The belief that if you can't do it perfectly, there's no point doing it at all. You miss one workout, and suddenly the whole routine feels broken. You have one unproductive day, and your whole system feels like it's collapsing. My friend, perfection was never the point. Your presence is. Missing a day is fine. That happens to all of us. What's harder to catch is when the days start stacking up without you even noticing. You just quietly stop showing up. That mindset creeps in gradually. Show up when you can becomes don't bother unless it's perfect, and that's where most routines die. The moment imperfect counts. You stop sabotaging yourself every time life gets messy. The change is building a structure that runs without negotiation. System set once remove the daily decision of whether to start and keep going even when motivation doesn't show up. System 1, build the routine. Routine is the mechanism that removes decision fatigue from your day. When you have to decide whether to do something, you create an opening for resistance to walk through. When the routine is already set, there's no decision. You just execute. Start small. Don't try to redesign your entire day at once. Pick one habit, anchor it to something you already do consistently, and let it become automatic before you add anything else. For example, if you make coffee in the morning, open your journal. After your last call of the day, review what you got done. The new habit piggybacks on the existing one until eventually it stops feeling like effort. Use reminders, set alarms, leave visual cues, use an app if you need to. There's no shame in building scaffolding. The scaffolding exists to support the building until it can stand on its own. My friend, the goal is to reach the point where the routine is just part of your day, not some kind of challenge you need to overcome. It's just a thing you do. And at the start, you shouldn't rely on memory or motivation to carry something that still hasn't become automatic. That's why reminders, schedules, and trackers matter, not because you're weak, but because the habit isn't automatic yet. The more you do it, the less you have to think about it. Eventually, it just runs on its own. That's when discipline stops feeling forced and starts feeling like part of how you naturally operate. System 2, track your progress. What gets measured gets managed. And more than that, what gets measured gives you something to feel good about. Use a habit tracker, a calendar, a notes app, whatever format actually works for you. Doesn't matter how it looks. What counts is that you can see you actually showed up. Every mark you make is proof that you showed up. And when things feel slow, being able to look back at 2 weeks or 2 months of showing up is a powerful counter to the voice that says nothing's working. Also, set short-term targets. Instead of fixing on some distant outcome, give yourself streaks to maintain. Maybe 10 days of workouts or 30 days of writing. Small goals make you feel like you're moving, and when you feel that, quitting gets harder. Review it weekly. Spend 5 minutes looking at what worked, what didn't, and what you want to adjust. Small recalibrations along the way prevent you from drifting off course for months before you notice. Without reflection, effort can quietly turn into repetition without direction, and the value of reviewing isn't about being critical of yourself, but about staying honest with where your time is actually going. Over time, that habit turns into self-awareness that keeps you aligned even when motivation fades. System 3, reward yourself. My friend, the brain is built to prioritize reward signals, which strongly shape attention and behavior. It's just how the brain works. So if you force yourself to pursue a long-term goal without any positive reinforcement or small rewards while you're in the process, it's like you're fighting against how your brain is wired. That means it's harder to stay consistent when all you feel is difficulty and pressure. That's why small wins, progress, or rewards are also important to help you keep going, but the rewards don't have to be big. They just have to feel meaningful. Hit your goal for the week, do something you enjoy guilt-free, finish a chapter of the thing you're building, mark it, celebrate it, acknowledge that it happened. You can also gamify it. For every week of consistency, put a few dollars into a fund for something you actually want. Turn the abstract concept of discipline into a game with tangible stakes and tangible rewards. And don't underestimate intrinsic rewards either. The quiet feeling of knowing you followed through, the growing confidence of someone who does what they say they're going to do, and it's not just nothing. Over time, that self-trust becomes the base for every harder thing you take on later. System 4, build accountability. Sometimes you need to know that someone else knows what you're trying to do, and that they're doing it better than you. That added layer of external responsibility can be the difference between showing up and hitting snooze. Find someone with similar goals, a friend, a colleague, someone you met in a community around what you're building, and check in regularly. It doesn't have to be formal, a quick text, a weekly call. What matters is that someone else knows. When it's only in your head, it's easy to quietly drop it. When someone else is watching, you're harder to walk away from it. These 4 systems aren't magic, but stack them together and you build something that's genuinely hard to break. Structure takes over the role motivation was never stable enough to hold. What I'm about to show you next is honestly what separates the people who eventually get there from the ones who stay stuck in the cycle. It's not complicated, but most people never think to do it this way. The most important approach is the one that can change how you actually behave and take action, not just how you think about things. I used to start with a goal and then improvise their way toward it through inconsistent effort. I start at the beginning and navigate forward through fog. Reverse engineering flips that. You start at the end, the fully realized version of what you're trying to build, and work backward until you can see what today needs to look like. Say your goal is a side project generating real income within 12 months. Start there. What would that actually require? A product, some kind of audience, a way to reach them. Now work backward. To have those things in 12 months, what do you need in 6, in 3, in the next 30 days? By the time you get back to today, you're not staring at a mountain, you're looking at one specific next step, and that's something you can actually do. The big goal is to launch the project. The first milestone is to build something, and today, just 30 minutes of work on it. That's it. Once you have the path, the work is just building habits around the daily actions that move you forward, not when you feel inspired, every day. When I started writing consistently, not for any audience, just for myself, I didn't commit to anything substantial. 1 sentence. That was the whole rule. Some days it stayed in 1 sentence. Most days, once I started, I kept going for 20 or 30 minutes. But the commitment was to the 1 sentence. That small entry point removed the pressure that usually makes people avoid starting altogether. But the important part here isn't how much you finished. It's that you kept the door open every day. You kept showing up and starting without having to argue with yourself every single time. The piece that ties it all together is almost embarrassingly simple. There is a simple principle called the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. If it's bigger, just commit to starting it for 2 minutes. My friend, the resistance usually isn't about the task. It's about starting. Once you're moving, the friction drops. 9 times out of 10, you keep going. 2 minutes becomes 10, becomes 30, becomes a full session. You didn't need motivation. You just needed to be in motion. That's what these 3 things do together. Reverse engineering, non-negotiable habits, the 2-minute rule. None of them ask you to do everything at once. They just give you a way in. And once you're in, the rest tends to follow. Real consistency isn't built by forcing big leaps. It's built by making the starting point too small to argue with. When showing up stops feeling like a decision, progress stops feeling fragile, and those small, unglamorous actions compound in ways that no single burst of intensity ever does. And those 4 systems, when they're actually running, stop making consistency feel like a personality trait you either have or don't. What gets built on top of that, though, most people never even think about it. Because they're so locked in on the goal, they miss what's actually compounding underneath it. I used to think consistency is about the goal. It's not, it's almost secondary. What you're really building, what compounds over time more than any outcome, is who you become in the process. You're building the identity of someone who does what they say they'll do. Someone who shows up. Someone who can be trusted by others, but more importantly, by themselves. The person you become in the process is what you keep. That same discipline shows up in everything you do after. The confidence you earned by following through on small commitments becomes the fuel for bigger ones. Consistency doesn't just move you toward the goal. It transforms you into the person capable of achieving it, and then capable of achieving the next one after that. My friend, nobody is coming to build your life for you. That sounds harsh, but it's actually the most freeing thing you can internalize, because it means the only thing standing between you and the version of your life you actually want is a series of small daily decisions that are completely within your control. That's the whole secret. Consistency won't make the path shorter. It won't remove the hard days or fast-track the results. What it does is compound. Do it enough days in a row, and you stop being someone who hesitates. You just act. This is the part that doesn't sit well with everyone. Most people reading this will nod, feel something, and still not change, not because they can't, but because understanding something and actually doing it are two completely different things. The gap between those two is where potential goes to die. So close the gap. Start today, not tomorrow, not when things settle down. Today. One action, one decision, 19 days. The version of you that follows through is not some distant future person. It's just you, without the excuses. If you found this video helpful, this next video right here will take you even further. Your choice, your life, start now.